everybody, so you're probably wondering what's my new location. I'm spending the week or something at my aunt and uncle's place. I'm not spending it with my dad. I had a great time with my dad. But my aunt and uncle really wanted to see me this time, so I'm visiting with my aunt and uncle at their place. I'm having a great time, and so if you haven't seen my other videos, my mom was in the hospital, but I think she's doing better. She's just waiting for a procedure. But I was at my dad's place for almost for over a week, and my aunt and uncle really missed me, so I came over to their place. So I'm visiting them for, I guess, till the weekend or until my mom gets out of the hospital. But anyways, what I'm here to review today, well, I didn't saw any movies. I wanted to see Hunger Games or the Hunger Games prequel or Wonka or heck, even Trolls. But I'm here to review a Simpsons episode of all things. Yeah, I'm reviewing the latest Simpsons episode. I heard polarizing opinions because it's modern Simpsons, so what you expect, but in my review, here they found a bunch of. Marge was going in the mailbox and she found some cards, and then they got some money and they decided to take a cruise and go on this comic book fandom cruise of fans, sci-fi, and pop culture. And Homer's like, "Oh no, nerds! I don't like this." But if you see my past videos, you know I'm a big fan of this, and I would love to go on this cruise. I'm a big fan of big sci-fi, superhero, comic book, video game nerd culture, and I would really like to go here. But Homer, I don't know. I just feel like Homer is kind of like he's supposed to be 38, but so chances are he would be born in like the 80s or 70s, and probably be really hooked into this stuff too. But yeah, he still kind of acts like a baby boomer. But it's because here's the thing about The Simpsons: they don't age, but time around them keeps going and keeps updating with the times. But I guess with that logic, because even in a past Simpsons episode, they pointed out of how the timeline should make sense.
For your information, I grew up in a cruel world like this, back in the 30s or 50s or whatever makes sense now.
But it's weird how Homer, like, he hates all this nerd baby stuff, but I love dressing. If you saw my other videos, I love dressing up and going to conventions and stuff like this. Also, the main plot is because it's supposed to be a parody of like Murder She Sells, and Taika Waititi is up there. I'll look. I haven't looked up. I don't know if that's actually him, but it's funny how he's in this and they're parodying his stuff. And um, spoilers if you haven't seen the episode, but it's the latest where they go on a boat and it's called Murder She Boat. I think that's called. But it's about comic book guy found a defunct action figure with radioactive man, but has Wolverine claws. But here's something about Bart. Bart is mad at comic book guy because he pitched him a comic called Crocagator, which is a pretty cool. And for those of you who don't know, I would like to publish my own comic books. I haven't mentioned. So yeah, I don't know if I ever mentioned this, but I have ideas about superheroes and comic books I would like to get published. But comic book guy shreds his idea and laughs at his face, and everyone else laughs in his face, and I thought that was so mean. And then it gets to a part I haven't been a big fan of The Simpsons since I was even a kid. It's where Bart is where the fam is where Bart is framed for a crime, and then he's like, he did it because the radioactive man defunct action figures got his head stolen, and then he's accused of murder in a way. So he's being falsely accused. And Bart's like, "I'm telling you, I didn't do it." And it was like, "We love to believe you, but we don't know." And I'm like, okay, I know Bart is like the practical jokester, but come on. Even all this time, you gotta. There has been episodes where he has been nice and he has been framed for a crime. Like, remember Fruit Batman? Where Mr. Burns became Fruit Batman? Like, remember how Bart was framed for a crime and Lisa tried to clear his name? And Lisa. And come on, even they could. I know Bart is always a prankster, but come on, you can't be that one dimensional. But, okay, here's the spoiler. So they found it out, but then they thought it was Comic Book Guy who did it. But Taika Waititi comes and tries to solve the mystery with them, but it's revealed that Taika Waititi is the real guy who committed the crime. Apparently, he switched it with doubles. Like he already had a radioactive man defunct action figure, and the head got removed, and then he switched it, and they figure out because of the O's. But yeah, there's a plot hole cause where Bart gets scratched was a fork, but that's not what they showed from before. Like they turned on, like the lights were turned off when the toy was stolen, but Bart was nowhere near the buffet. But it shows that Homer scratched him with a fork by accident, but that's not what happened from before. So that's kind of a plot hole they made. But yeah, in Comic Book Guy was kind of recording, and I love that they make fun of him because Comic Book Guy is supposed to be one of those, because you know how Simpsons love to do their stereotypes, but Comic Book Guy is like the big fat nerdy stereotype. I don't know how to feel about those, because I like Comic Book Guy as an ironic character, and I like how he develops, but I don't want to be one of those people that are the reason why Apu was removed. Like, oh, this character offends me. Remove him, remove him. I don't want to be those people, but it's just I'm a comic book fan too, and I don't like that the whole stereotype that I guess does making fun of like toxic, mean comic book fans versus like nicer comic book fans. But yeah, it just always portrayed like any adult who loves comic book fans and nerd cultures are always fat losers. But I think they're trying to take a break from them by showing other characters. Also, even though Thor: Love and Thunder wasn't critically praised, I love that Lisa was shown like she loves the Thor movies. I like when Lisa goes geek because I always was thinking like Lisa would just be critical and poke fun at these movies and be a stick in the mud and lame about them, but I love how adorably fun she can be with this. That I like. I like where at times Lisa does that like an 8-year-old, because before there were episodes where she acted too smart for her age, and that might work, but I do like where she does act like an adorable 8-year-old. But yeah, she solves the mystery, and it was Taika Waititi for funny reasons. But then they found the action figure, and Comic Book Guy. Okay, so this is what I was gonna mention. Comic Book Guy is made fun of, like they're being interviewed with different motive, and also they're interrogating Sideshow Mel, and there's a scene where it's Mad Max Fury Road, but they parody Wacky Races, and it's like Wacky Race Fury Road. And I thought that was cool because that does make sense for a concept. And yeah, I should point out DC actually did one called Wacky Race Roadland or whatever, but it was described as Mad Max Fury Road meets Wacky Race, and they actually did a comic about that. I wonder if the creators who are doing this actually knew that. But that's fun that they did that. But yeah, everyone made fun of Comic Book Guy, even Ned Flanders, and Millhouse, and Millhouse was like that action figure was originally mine, but he paid it for little minimum change, and Comic Book Guy found, and he was sad, and everyone badmouthed him, and people were like all critical, because I think this is making fun of like how internet trolls or people say mean things about critical about you and about other people, so that makes sense of how they did that. But yeah, and Mimiko, Comic Book Guy's wife, who I love by the way, I think she's really awesome. She even didn't like the action figure because she felt like he loved it more. But at the end they parodied the Titanic and decided to throw the action figure off the bridge. And they're like, "Thank you, you do love me." Mwah. Okay, that is cute, but I don't know. Even like, I would love to do the right thing and show that I care about family more than material stuff, but like I do love nerd culture, but and I even myself I like to collect. Like if you saw my room from before, I like collecting action figures and comics and video games, but it's always good to show that you care about family more, but but I don't think I would dump it out of the ocean. Like I would just like maybe give it to Bart or Millhouse. Like Millhouse was the original guy who owned it. Like oh well. Well, that was a strange episode. I love the nerd culture. I kind of wish Homer would lighten up because, like, here's the thing. Okay, sorry about that. Cause I own I own jammies. Sorry, my aunt and uncle are asleep, so I have to be very quiet. I own jammies of the Homer Simpson as Everyman. I think I already showed you this before. And I have like jammy bottoms to go with it, adult size. And one of my favorite episodes is where Homer becomes Pie Man, and I love that episode. So hearing him badmouth like nerd and sci-fi and superhero culture just feels like I know they did this in like where they met Mark Hamill, that episode where he becomes a bodyguard. But I just wish he would kind of lighten up in this, like, cause come on, he was Pie Man, he was Every Man. I kind of wish he wasn't such a buzzkill about this. Like, hey, there was even one in that episode, Bart the bad guy, which I kind of wish Homer was lighting up about that too. Like he would care more. But oh well. Well, that was a strange episode. You probably love it or hate it. What are your thoughts? Did you like it? Did you hate it? I guess I'm in between. I like the nerd culture stuff, I but yeah, and I thought the murder mystery was Taika Waititi was pretty interesting. I do like Bart was innocent, but I wish they would try to remember that he was a nice character and other things. But anyways, review. That's my review for this episode, and hope you enjoyed this episode. And see you next time.